Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Bangladesh Art Week Talk, a conversation with auctioneer, art writer, and curator. Today we have our auctioneer, Mr. Anise Khan, with us, who is an eminent senior banker and art collector. Please allow me to invite him. Welcome, Anis bhai.
Good evening.
Good evening. Now I would like to invite our art writer, Javed Jalil, who is an artist and art writer. Welcome, JJ. And we also have our co-founder, Mohammed Mohsin.
Assalamualaikum Anis bhai. Assalamualaikum Jalil bhai.
So today we will walk through all the artworks curated for the third edition of Ora Egaro Jon. Ora Egaro Jon is a female-focused curation featuring unique works from 11 female artists, and this time we try to make it more diversified. We have included an animator, a musician, a self-taught artist, and as well as architect. And this auction will be held on 16 September, 4:30 p.m. Bangladesh time at our Facebook auction room. So our 11 artists are Afroza Hussein Sara, Asma Akbar, Dinar Sultana Putul, Faria Zeva, Habiba Noroz, Lala Ruksalim, Nabila Norin, Nasima Haq Mitu, Promiti Hossein, Shirin Jawad, Shubona Morsheda. Before we start, Mohsin, তুমি কিছু বলবে?
আমি just before you start, আবার একটা just প্রশ্ন আনিস ভাইয়ের কাছে, যে আনিস ভাই তো he has attended the ceremony we had in Dhaka. তো আপনার তো সুযোগ হয়েছে সবগুলো আর্ট দেখার, as an expert and as an auctioneer, as an art lover, আপনি কি ফিল করছেন মানে আমাদের আয়োজনটাকে একটু যদি বলতেন আমাদেরকে তাহলে খুব ভালো হতো।
আয়োজন, হ্যাঁ, মানে আর্ট গুলো সম্পর্কে।
কারেক্ট।
আমি শুধু এইটুকু বলি আগে, সব দর্শক ভাই বোনদেরকে প্রথমে আমার শুভেচ্ছা, আসসালামু আলাইকুম, শুভ সন্ধ্যা। আপনারা যারা এখানে আপনাদের সঙ্গে যোগদান করেছেন বিভিন্ন জায়গা থেকে, আপনারা অনেক কষ্ট করে এসেছেন, সময় দিচ্ছেন, এই জন্য অনেক ধন্যবাদ। আমার সঙ্গে যারা আছেন, নিহারিকা, মমতাজ, মহসিন এবং জাভেদ, জালিল, আপনাদেরকে শুভেচ্ছা। আমি যেটা বলতে চাইবো হলো প্রথমে যে কদিন আগে যে আমাদের লাইভ ডিসপ্লে হলো বনানীতে, ওটা অনেক সুন্দর হয়েছিল, ওটার কিউরেশনটা অনেক সুন্দর হয়েছে, ডিসপ্লেটা সুন্দর হয়েছে, লাইটিং, এভরিথিং ওয়াজ মার্ভেলাস। অনেকগুলো তো আর্ট শো এক্সিবিশন হয়েছে ওভার দ্য ইয়ার্স, এটা আমি মনে করি ওয়াজ ওয়ান অফ দ্য বেস্ট দ্যাট আই হ্যাভ সিন। আনফর্চুনেটলি তখনও একটু কোভিডের প্রকোপ ছিল, এখনো যে নেই সেটা না। যেভাবে আমরা দর্শক আশা করেছিলাম আসবে সেভাবে আসেনি, কারণ যে আয়োজন ওখানে করা হয়েছিল, খাবার দাবার এবং সঙ্গীত পরিবেশনের দিকে খুব অ্যাট্রাকটিভ সঙ্গীত ছিল, সেই হিসাবে আমাদের দর্শক ছিল। এবং আমরা যেটা আশা করেছিলাম এক্সিবিশন থেকে যেটা পাওয়ার, সেটা আমরা সেরকম পাইনি। আর কাজগুলো সম্বন্ধে বলতে গেলে তো ইন্ডিভিজুয়ালি বলতে হবে, এগুলো পরে এক একটা কাজ সামনে নিয়ে বললে মনে হয় আমার শ্রেয় হবে। কিন্তু কাজগুলো অনেক সুন্দর ছিল, ডাইভার্স ছিল, an array of works of different mediums। এক হচ্ছে জলছবি, এক হলো যে আপনার তৈলচিত্র, তারপরে ছিল আপনার যে ছিল drawings, then there were installations, there was digital art, অনেক কিছু মিক্স ছিল। অনেকগুলো কথা বলতে হয়ে গেল সম্বন্ধে, আপাতত আমি এই ইন্ট্রোডাকশন দিয়ে আমি এখন বলছি, ফিরে আসবে। নিহারিকা,
থ্যাংক ইউ আনিস ভাই। তো এখন আমরা জাভেদ যে কে বলতে পারি একটু আমাদের আর্টিস্ট এবং আর্ট ওয়ার্ক নিয়ে একটু যদি আপনার মতামত বলেন।
Um, sh- shall I speak about the artist now or the whole thing, the exhibition?
You can start as an
All right. The
art.
You
first
can
of
finish.
all, so first let me talk about the exhibition a little bit.
Please.
Like this exhibition we have uh, different artists, female artists from different backgrounds, disciplines. The interesting part of this exhibition is like various concepts and thoughts relating to this one union. And the fascinating thing is through this exhibition, through this 11 artists, we are kind of relating to various aspects and thought processes, various sociological aspects, imaginary aspect. So there is a very diverse content relating together. So this is the exhibition, and I think it's a great way of putting things together. Artists coming from different backgrounds as well. So shall I talk about the artwork now of Afroza Hussein Sarah, about her?
Yes.
All right, she's a freelance conceptual animator. She focuses on climate change, psychological issues, and various social situations which relates to women's rights, abuse, and oppression, where she highlights her response and realizations of this storytelling into this act of visual movement and sound, which we call animation. And so, in this animated aspect, as she's a very young artist, she puts her own very inner psychological aspects relating to the society and social things and sensitivities that she feels. She kind of intermingles all these things together, and she tries to convey that with this sense of animation. I think she studied not as a animator, but I think she studied more into drawing and painting. But she kind of used this. She's trying to put this drawing and painting skills together into this animated scenario. I think that kind of, and I think she got inspired by this Ghibli films, a Japanese animating studio, and she's kind of working into these processes.
So we can see her animation. It's a 1 minute animation.
So this animation we just saw, I think this Song of Whales, we can see in this animation the main objective is the sound. With that, there's a movement. But this sound is actually the voice of all these animals who's like tortured, abused, a lot of ways by human activities and everything. And there is such a sound they're trying to revolt. So this is like actually the sound and everything is all about revolting. As well, like a revolting feature against humankind. So it's like almost a cry to say that save us, give us some space so we can live together. So this animation focuses on all this. It's like a sense of um, a cry of these animals into this dynamic, momentous movement, a stress with sound, and all this. And it's almost like a tribute. And she actually did this. I think she told me a little bit of it. She went to Cox's Bazar, and I think there was this incident. I think she heard about this whale trapped in the waters, and all these things kind of stimulated her sensitivity towards it, and she kind of gave it a tribute to the whales as a response to his to her acknowledgement of this human abuse and all these things, to climate change and animal cruelty. So this animation, I think, conveys this kind of messages.
If I may add, is that this is a brilliant composition, and I have had the opportunity of seeing it uh, at the exhibition site, uh, and I was really enthralled with it. It is beautiful.
So now we go to the second artist, Asma Akbar. She's actually a freelance artist, well, um, an artist who kind of self-invented herself into this world of painting. I think when she was very young or something, she got inspired by reflections of life from life and environment, various artists or that she saw in museums and galleries, paintings, historical, personal experiences. So all this together, from an early age, she realized this niche to express her sensitivities, and she thought painting would be a way, an expression to do that. So her work focuses on empathy, absorption, reflection, anticipation to heighten her sensations and rejoice them. So she transmutes the sources from references, from from the reference from the environment, from paintings, from her own personal thoughts, her likings, desires, and especially from the great masters. Tries to convey all these things together to create her own expression. So it's almost like, I think, I don't know her that personally in that way, but what I see is this is almost like a personal meditation for her as well too, and she kind of finds a way to create a sense of solace for herself through this process of creating paintings. Like in this painting, we have this is called Forest Song. So as we can see, there is like a lot of green dots and spots. Like it could be a little bit textured greens. So it's almost like getting one gets lost in this green, this submerged green, and we I call this like there's excuse me, shall I go on? So this green has got a sense of impressionistic aspect, as we see like a lot of, like it's an impression of the green. So it's like she is almost focusing on this essence of green, getting involved with the green. It's not she's away from it, she's totally involved into this green. So it's like a submerged green, and in this green she has this linear black lines as like almost a suggestion to structures, to trees or things we see in the forest. So I this has a minimal approach to a great density of this green impressionistic connection, and this is almost an expression where the artist, well, definitely this has a lot of influence and impact from great masters, but she has conveyed this somehow into this process of working with it, the colors and paint and lines and dots and this green and this pigments and this darkness, lights, yellow, all this game. She merged herself very intensely. Achha, I can't hear you. Wait a minute. Hello?
Niharika, go to the next one.
Achha, let me.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
I can
a little bit
I
better
can
now.
hear
Yeah.
you, Anis bhai. I can hear Jalil
Uh,
bhai.
okay,
But
I'm
Huh.
looking at.
Niharika, I don't know if she got disconnected or not. But yeah, next one. Yeah, she's there.
She's okay now. Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Oh,
now.
next one.
Yeah, she's there. Yeah, next one. Yes.
This is, I think, I did. Are we done with the first one, the forest song? I think we're done with the forest song, nah? Yeah.
Yeah, that's very
Yeah,
nice actually. It's very very nice. I have to say.
very nice.
Now we can go to the next one, I think, nah? Niharika.
Please go to the next one.
Yeah, next one is Dinner Sultana. Well, Dinner Sultana is an artist who is dealing with a lot of various concepts. As we can put it, is almost like a polymath, which is like actually putting a lot of studies, a lot of concepts, a lot of relationships of different knowledges, different criteria, directions together. So in this, she focused on few concepts together. As one of the concepts is impermanence of nature. Whereas we see nature, in nature, there's like flower, bark, seeds, leaves, cotton pulp, all these things like we see, stone, tree. These are all in a transition state. There's so much of things that's here and there, and it's almost like changing or dissolving into nature again. So she's trying to use this kind of element materials from nature directly into her works of art, into her paintings, or um, as taking colors from there, or using them as directly pasting on the canvases, which will go there. This is one of the aspects that she's working on, is impermanence of nature. The other one is, while she's doing all this, she is also using different philosophical concepts from books and other aspects. Like one of the concepts which she's working on recently, as I know, I heard, is Grunch of Giants, which is actually a book by this polymath futurist, like I said, the polymath, Fuller. I think full name is uh, I can't remember the full name. Anyway, it's Fuller, and the name of the book is Crunch of Giants. So it's called Polymath Futurist because this person, the writer, used a lot of different kind of aspects, studies together to create this book of thoughts where he created different agendas relating one thing to another, where we have this cosmological aspect, the working of the cosmos relating to the earthly aspect like a planet, how our lives are rotating, relationship together with that, because as we are also a part of the cosmos, and with that also the relationship of economical aspects, structures. So he's creating a functionality or intricate union of cosmic, the world we live in, the socio-political issues, the economical issues. It's a quite a vast relationship. I don't know so much that how much this artist is putting together all this, but so far what I can see is a various. This is quite a big, vast aspect. So as she's doing this, she's also relating to egalitarian concept, which is the equality, which is coming to these socio-political aspects, women's rights and human rights and all this. At the same time, she's relating to with this labor aspect where this modern technology is coming and it's kind of taking away jobs and everything. This artificial intelligence, which will be happening soon, or machineries, and also in that way, that process, she wants to bring back the craft heritage, which is kind of fading away, constructing that with the labor work. So creating art as nature, like keeping the technological aspect there as it's there, and also nurturing these natural factors we have and keeping them together into a certain kind of growth. And as this cosmological aspects, like I said, the Grunch of Giants, this Fuller, this book, where actually the cosmological objects, like it's about this book deals with spaceship, Earth, Dimension world map. These are very complex issues actually. So actually, basic thing is that this cosmological mechanism, how it works. This futurist Fuller, actually he's an architect and a designer. So he got also those mathematical shapes from the cosmic aspect world relating to our architectural aspect and also relating to energy consumption, all that like using giving less input, having a more output, like maximize the energy, which is like the Dymexian concept she's talking about. So anyway, this is all together, and she creates and she's playing with all different kind of concepts together in her paintings, in her visual works. Can't hear you.
Niharika, you there with the? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can
Oh,
proceed
oh,
with.
Are we going to
wow,
Zeba now?
wow.
Yes, I think let's proceed as they come up on screen. Yes, Javed Jalil, please proceed.
Acha, sure.
So on
All right,
screen.
Zeba is a total different issue here. She's an artist who retrospects. I think introspects journey within herself. She's like a female voice who's very much aware of herself, awareness towards the society and her relationship with herself, relating with the society and everything. She renders this personal insight, intimate passions, syncing them all together with plants, animals, and everything. And the process, how society works, she scrutinizes all these things together, dissects them, and trying to create a visual language from all this. Her work also deals with very much also from a kind of a transformation, as like we will see in her paintings that there's like seeds, um, it's growing, the sprouts coming out is growing as like umbilical cords relating like motherhood, nurturance, relating, giving life to energy, and relating to this whole um, human nature, human history, creating lives, and how women's life and women is actually such a complex being because her biological, her harmonic, related to the social society. There's a very intricate aspects, and I think she journeys into all these things to create her art and express herself. Like in this painting, yeah, this is the embryonic stages of life. Like it's like an embryonic stages of life where this seed, I think it's seed, like sprouting this red energy, reaching out of growth like a mother earth of nurturance for sharing, the essence of a seed in its rendering, flow of connection with spaces of indulgence, one to this creamy contrast of purity. So there is like she's dealing with a lot of ethical, moral, and a lot of sensual issues, social issues, like a very much of an inner struggle, inner relief, inner solace, very much into psychic aspects. And she kind of transforms that into this kind of paintings relating to plants, seeds. And she's very much interested with plants. And I think she has a lot of nice garden at her place. So she creates a wholesome relationship with the female psyche and the transformation issues within an artist.
And I must add that this painting has an augmented reality also.
Oh
So
yes,
whoever will
yes, yes.
bid, yeah.
Like augmented reality, like yeah, this is another thing. Augmented reality. This exhibition is actually the first step here in Bangladesh. Augmented reality is actually there's like two kind of realities we deal with this computer generated art, like in this here. And one is this virtual reality where everything is virtual. Augmented is fun part is it's a reality where there's computer generated the process is relating with the real life. So it's almost like an augmented, which is like regenerated, which is multiplied or which is enhanced. So this painting, as she did this augmented thing, where this parts of the painting I think comes out when you see it in this virtual interface. So there's a relationship between this reality and the virtuality, and how reality extensions of reality is relating with this the world of virtuality. So it's like a reality and this a relationship with this virtual and the reality. It's quite interesting. I think she has this augmented in the exhibition we saw it. This one,
Yeah.
you want me to speak about this one?
Yeah. Right.
All
Yes.
right, this is like mother. This is like a womb, a symbolic association of seed and fetus. So seed, fetus, womb, this all relationship of birth, regeneration, nurturance. So this is in this painting we see she created this seed as a womb and it's life in there like flowers, and so it's this womb, this motherhood, this nurturance. In nature it's all actually the same entity and it's almost the same process. Even maybe the fabrications are different, or certain processes are different, but the main core of this, I would say process is not different. I would say fabrications are different, but the process is the same. And she creates this seed. She transforms the seed into this childbirth, this motherhood, these flowers, and also we see a lot of different, lot of what is, I can't see it. A lot of elements all around. So it's almost like life forces all around, uh, creating a sense of emerging life, fragments of emerging life in this composition space. A visual that intrigues us into hollow space of mystery and life, which is also she has in her work a lot of mystery and psychological penetrations.
Right. Anisha, you want to add anything about the Faria Zava's work?
Well, it's beautiful composition. I've seen it. Actually, this picture cannot do justice to it. All of these paintings that you're seeing being explained by Javed Jalil and what's going to come up is exquisite. And the prices are extremely low. I have to say that. So we
Yeah.
are taking this opportunity to showcase this art to you through the expert opinion of our Javed Jalil, so that you have a good insight, good preview of what's going to come on the date of the auction on the 16th of September. Thank you.
Thank you.
Back to Javed Jalil.
All right, now we are with Habiba Noruz. She's in a way also a very complex character in her expression here, and she focuses on gender aesthetics, gender identity, women's right issues. She contributes all this with mythology, depiction of it together in various contemplations of societies, self-identity, then fabrication, the mythic aspect of it. She puts it together. Here, one thing is Habiba renders is like she does photography, but in her photography, she actually stages the photography with a lot of elements, a lot of materials. And actually, she wants to show the cliche, she wants to break the cliche of things and question a lot of things like beauty, like woman's, woman's beauty and her expressions, how this is measured in society, how things are so artificially oriented. And that's in this process, she wants to create a parallel link between illusion and reality and express this all this in this three-dimensional appearances, portraying like it's an amalgamation of various assemblages like strong prints, like strong interiors, decor together, creating this complex portrait. And in her portraits, you'll see the woman's face and everything is incognito. To say this sense of over fabrication, over beautified, and everything is there, but it's overly oriented. Like it's almost the real person who's inside, who what he feels, she feels, sorry, is almost hidden and has been pressured by the society and everything to be someone else. So it's almost like a woman, what she really feels, she could really never express because it's all rendered with so much of pressures of to be this, to be that, to be beautiful, all this fabrication. So she indulges and she expresses and explores all this with a very kind of a kitsch kind of an effect where there is a excessive taste, garishness, design, putting the superficiality and the hidden, the real self is covered by all these things which we hardly see it. This is the point. This is, like I said, it's like a conflict between self and identity and the fabricated. So there's this self. The self that we have is something that we ponder all our life, what it is. Are we going there? Let's go to this. The first one is concealed, concealed. Yes, 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 yes. So the self is something that is so much inside us. We hardly it takes all our lifetime to really see ourselves. Actually, at the end, it is just exploration and experience in life we do to sense ourselves. So this identity that we create in our society is an identity we do for the sake to be something in the society. And these fabrications we do to create this identity, all this superimpose the self that we want to be at times. So here, a portrait is kind of expressing that kind of expressions where various superficial demands of the society, the veil of the beautiful self, the struggling inner self, the personal entity are neglected. So the artist is like fighting herself with these various illusions of space entities into this, again, this kitschy ornamented loud garishness of visual ambience. She condemns, and like she wants to condemn the artificial by showing all these overpowered things that we are loaded in the from the society to be someone what we don't want to be.
This also has augmented reality, this painting.
Yes, 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 yes. This one, Oacha. This is this is actually like I think she. This one is আচ্ছা এটা why don't we go to this there's another one after that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now there's this one, the other one top of it, I think. But tongue tied, the first one. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So here she, the artist, is like a highly ornamented photograph that expresses thoughts regarding sensory indulgences, like taboos and social masks of the artificial. The work is actually tongue. It's called tongue tied because there is this traditional things that we have. Here, the artist wants to portray like culinary issues, like she's using um, like mm, the like ginger, organic ginger masala, all these things that we actually like, we like as food, but we are so much shamed to talk about in society. In like these are very much um, our own aspects of liking. We know that in society we cannot express all this, like our inner all these thoughts and likings, because it's almost like a society has a cliche of trying to show what we eat and all this. So she's trying to portray um, this ginger, all these things in such a way that it's like a sculpture, like a still life sculpture, like as we can see it here. And our tongue is tied, like actually it's more like there's a lot of things we really want to say, which we all do. But when we come down to the society or this, we think that the ways of the society or the expressions outside, outwardly, we're not supposed to talk about it. But we are all going through and feeling those vulnerabilities, insecurities, all this raw attachment that we have. But somehow we have this cliche of showing things in a total different way, which is not really concerned within our inner self. So it's like a debate, a fight within ourselves, what we want to show, and how society wants us to see things or show things to be welcomed or to be to create a relationship.
Wonderfully said.
Lala Roop. For her concepts and is very much also in humans, women, her psyche, essence, inner workings, real self-realization. Here, she's a sculptor. She wants to portray a very aspect where a woman, as a woman, has so many parts to so many expressions to play. Like she has a role in the kitchen, she has a role for the family, her kids, her husband, they're going out in the society, office, so many things, and how a woman has to adjust with all these things, also her own inner biological self, and all these relationships creates so many kind of paradoxes and struggle within her, which she could hardly express or show to anyone, even though another woman is also going through that or someone, but it's almost no one really knows or no one really pays any attention to all this. So as a sculptor, she also used like blades and things, kitchen utilities like utensils as metaphors, suggesting motherhood, again suggesting goddesses like Durga. Then again, agricultural aspects, she uses spices. All this, she creates certain very dramatic sculptures by using all this to express how a regular daily life things, mundane things of a woman is actually not that mundane because it actually creates a society, it creates everything, and it's actually so much attachment that one goes through, and it should be signified into a celebrative way. And she celebrates all these emotions from turmoil to struggle, everything into and all these obscurities with her sculptures and using like knives, like kitchen tools, and all this relating to a very interesting sculptures. And also, she has drawing. I think we'll talk about the drawings, right? Yeah, this is the one. Now, this is as she's a sculptor. She's definitely she draws and paints. In this drawing, it's quite different, unique aspects are expressed here because these are totally different from what I just said. These are dealing with a very soft charcoal drawings dissolving into the fragrance of existence in its gestural and behavioral execution. These smoky lines and directional movements with a subtle figurative enigma, rendered by the artist to portray incidents of life in time. So these are actually more drawings in the pandemic. I think these are very personal drawings where the artist lost someone very special and where she's using the subtlety of lines and merged with this charcoal ink and see even the drawings has got a sense of reaching the ground and this is a kind of a directional expression as if it's dissolving. So for her I think the biggest thing was how we as human beings dissolve into this earth again, going back to the earth, dissolving in it as we lose ourselves by the process of life and death and everything. And she showed this kind of an essence as if it's like life is like almost like a very subtle essence of charcoal, like a dust, and slowly this whole voluminous of us kind of diminishes into this Mother Earth. So it's a very personal drawing. Well, all art is personal, but this is more objective, and this is done in the time of the pandemic, relating to some special occurrences that happened to the artist in her life.
Thank you, JJ.
Now, Bela Norin. Oh, she's an architect, a researcher, and also designer. She creates sculptures. She creates furnitures, but the furnitures are sculptural furnitures, where like we see this can be so this sculptures. This can we go to that drawing that work she has? Yeah, like here we see this is called partition and self shelf set. There's like this is like a partition, but it gives you an essence of basically anything, even a furniture is a sculpture in one way, but it becomes more like a sculpture when there is a sense of personal, artistic expression relating with these applications of reality. So here we see this space separation, privacy and communication, all fusion together, an assortment in our living room experience. We can put, if we put this partition shelf, where various characters of space can have their distinction and share with one enclosure. Like it's almost like an enclosure, but at the same time there is different windows that you can see through. So it gives you a sense of partition. At the same time, there's a communication going on. So and she used materials which kind of gives a certain kind of a finish to it. So this is like almost like a linear sculptural squares, a see-through window shapes, as also relating to this application of using it as a partition in a room. You want this one. This is the reflection. Well, reflection is actually, a mirror is a very personal thing. We always look at the mirror, we reflect ourselves, we see things. Again, we try to see things what we are not. So there's a lot of things that relationship goes on. That is a very personal, self-reflectory thing. So here we can see in this mirror, the thing about this sculptural aspect is this mirror is like a reflection experience of the visual resonance of oneself through a mirror is something I just want to say a little bit of it, the writing I did. It's like a reflection and experience of the visual resonance of oneself through a mirror is something we do all the time. It is a daily lifestyle requirement. Nabila Noor in her lifestyle furniture explores a specific sculptural entity. She renders our visual presence and fabricate our persona, enhance our self-esteem, and explore perception of the self-inquiry through this arc-shaped concave reverse display of the mirror. Like you see the mirror is going concave and it's almost reverse. And again, she has got this focus on the top as a circle. So this concave somehow gives this person who's looking at the mirror a sense of getting inside the space. So it's almost like a sense of a magical window where one sees herself, wants the way she is, the illusion of it, or what she wants to be. So it's like a self um, anticipation with this sculptural mirror.
Thank you.
Now we are here with this with Nasim Ahmed. She's a sculptor, and she's an anthophyllous plant enthusiast, which is like she's a lover of plants. She loves flowers, as she's a sculptor, but she is related more with these plants, and where she's kind of showing this expression of a metaphoric association of how a seed sprouts out and grows into adolescence, and how this plant life is related to human life, because we know humans and plant is very much related because we have the same multicellular organism. It's almost the same way the cell develops. So actually in nature, plants and us is very similar, even though we look and everything is so apart. So she finds this relationship. She tries to explore this relationship between plant, this seeds, this adolescence with the human nature, the human aspect, and she creates a sculptural insight through all this, giving her own psychological psyche expressions, her own personal expressions into this sculptural of human and plants and relationship, and it's metaphoric connection with each other, and the expressions of it through 3D three-dimensional sculptures. Okay, this is germination. This is actually like germination, like the seed sprouting out, growing, coming out. So it's like coming out huge, a lot of them. So here she created the way she created the connection is, see when the sprout the seed from the seed the sprouts, the thing is coming out, the plants, the linear lines we see, it's like almost like fingers coming out from the ground. So, but she saw it like that, and actually there is similarity, a metaphoric similarity, but that's imaginary similarity. And she kind of took that essence and created this. I think it's metal, yeah, metal sculptures where it's almost like fingers, almost like a human population. It's like all kind of coming from the earth, from the seed, and reaching out for life. This is actually the same, almost the same sculpture, but it is same motive. This is the same motive, but it's showing in a little different perspectives. Standing there, it's almost like the sprouting of the seed coming out. It's growing out. It's like almost um, the what do you call it? The togetherness of it, the creeping of each other, a dependency, reaching out for this adolescence.
থ্যাংক
Metal
ইউ।
sculpture.
আনিস ভাই কি অ্যাড করতে চান কিছু? Would you like to say something about these sculptures?
Well, we are getting a nice interpretation of each of these beautiful works from Javed Jalil. So I'm not intentionally coming in, although I have seen all of these works and met a number of these artists. So as I said earlier, uh, everything has been very beautifully, curated, presented, organized, and the showcase that's coming up on the 16th afternoon. We cannot wait to auction these pieces in the live auction that's coming up, and we will request all our viewers who have tuned in to please mark the time. Niharika, can you once more give the time? It's at what time exactly on Saturday?
It's 16 September,
Friday.
Friday, 4:30 p.m. Bangladesh time.
Right. So we will request all of you who have come in. In fact, I had sent the link just a few minutes ago to some of my very dear friends, and they're very kind enough to join us. So the names I can see here, I think we should recognize them, having come here and taken the trouble to greet us. One is Qazi Ashraf Haidar, another is Shujata Gomes. So both of them have sent us wishes, and to the viewers, I really appreciate your coming. And please do join us on the 16th at 4:30 p.m. Whether you buy or not is not important, but your participation really encourages us. And please bring your friends too, or whoever else you want to bring in. Thank you. So back to you, Niharika. Proceed
Yeah.
with it.
Thank you, Anis bhai. JJ, you can start.
All right, now we have from Meti Hussain. Well, she is considered a diaspora artist whose work is actually is a link between her personal and expressive symbols, which contemplates inner observations into these diverse social reflections and absorptions, where also she's trying to convey her social issues like social identity. Especially, she's dealing here more with her self identity and acceptability, because there's a sense of restlessness as she's moving from one aspect to the other, maybe physically or things like that. And so she probes into this different kind of narrative of relationships. So in her work, we will see is like fragments of various motives. We'll get there. I think you could give the painting of the work, then I can carry on with the rest.
I just want to add that she's presently participating artist 2022 Venice Biennale. She's the youngest artist that has been participated in Bangladesh Pavilion.
All right, this is Stream of Life. Now here we see like this lot of various fragments of visual references. It's almost like mapping outlines of collected figures in insects, leaves, a lot of motifs together. So that shows various environments, various elements from different environments relating to each other. And even the composition is made in such a way it has somehow have different kind of perspectives relating to a total opposite paradoxical perceptions. So creating a sense of, of thoughts, various fragments of thoughts as well, like a journey. So maybe this she is kind of relating with this stream of consciousness as we heard about it. I would rather say it's like a moving thought processes. She's relating with all this and different, and also there's objects and motifs she's using is like various things from different different places, different cultures. She has got a union of all these things. And I think one other thing is she's also very much interested in Rajasthani miniature paintings. I think she used certain kind of lyrical contours, um, subtlety of lines, varied frequencies, essence, highlighting fragility, confusion, even sensitivity, and even there is like a lot of sorts of errors. I think this also she relates maybe these errors like a woman makes as an innate expression of her spontaneity, like maybe she goes through. So there is this miniature patterns are drawn with fine designs, like she used this those various motifs and recreated her own alignment or amalgamation of all this with transparent washes, with also prints. Like I think she uses transparent water washes and also prints from shari, right? Kind of
Yeah,
sharis or from
the blocks.
blocks, yeah, and all this. And she also uses those certain blocks, as we can see, is kind of stamped in on this paper. I think it's done on yeah, on the paper. So as also to give this her own cultural significance or priorities that she feels connected to. So there's a sense of inventive self trying to like relate to the reality with the society of various varietiness and finding oneself into this dilemma, and also like finding a way to realize oneself of one's um, moving on with life. This it's almost related the same. You want to be
Same. No, it's same pattern and same.
yeah same yeah yeah it's the same. But you want me to talk
But
about
I
this?
just want to add that this one and the previous one has augmented reality.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, we've seen this, right? So this the other one has not been read. So now the singer, the musician. Do you do you want me to give a brief about that?
Hmm.
Hello?
Yeah.
All right. Shirin Zawad is a Bengali folk singer, born and raised in Britain with roots in Bangladesh. Shirin Zawad of Punjabi Wala fame, this music she did this song. Her main focus is traditional Asian folk and spiritual music. The highest Shirin Zawah's charting position is 12. Songs spent 38 weeks in the charts. And music videos have a combined total of more than 20 million views. So she's very popular and she has a very unique way. I know something about her as like her my understanding of it. Like I think she has a sound. She her sound is like an oral sensation of listening, pertaining to hearing and making sound to articulate the exaltation of spirit that breaks out from our physical body to relate to the universe as vibrations of longing, desire to somewhere never known. Actually, this is what I wrote about her, about the music. Then I'll go to her. It fills up
And
this empty
can I
void.
add something? Can I add something about her?
Sure,
Like
sure, sure.
actually, recently we are working on some folks Chittagonian songs, and my personal band named Aswad is working with her making all the musics. In fact, the song was presented there, Harkala, and all the songs were the music composition were done by me, my band. So she has a, as you Jalil bhai you said, that she has a kind of personality in her voice, which affects, and when we listen to her, it touches us with the Sufism, with the folk, and all these things relates together, and it touches us. So she's a wonderful personality, wonderful singer, and definitely she's been blessed, and we love her a lot.
Yes, of course.
Actually, I'll
Yeah,
also add here that I had heard her recital, her music.
Mhm.
I was absolutely enraptured. That evening, which we Niharika had taken so much trouble to organize. Again, as I said, I keep being disappointed by the turnout, but it was a beautiful musical show by Shireen, and the music was really captivating. I just sat there and couldn't move. It was just fantastic. And those of you who didn't come, you missed it. You definitely missed it. Hey, back to Jalil.
yeah. So I'll just speak a little bit of her, but how I feel about this see the voice. Like sound is an oral like I was saying. Let me just put it again. Sound is an oral sensation of listening pertaining to hearing and making sound to articulate the exaltation of spirit that breaks out from our physical body to relate to the universe as vibrations of longing, desire to somewhere never known, and fills up the empty void we feel inside. Entrapped energies of absorbing and consumed self with millions of bits, emotive movements, the seduction of bliss with touch and affection, and the balcony of eternal glimpsing with memories of shelter. One adores and makes sound into chemistry beyond self in a holistic union. And I think this is the voice of Shirin Zawad,
Right.
the way I
Thank you.
see it. Okay. You know.
So whoever will bid this, they will get one live performance with musician, which will be valid for 1 year in Dhaka and Chittagong.
I think people should line up for this to bid for it. This is a
And it's
bargain.
only 200,000.
Niharika, I'll be the first one. I want to be the first one.
Okay, good.
The
Oh, I
next
have one left. I thought it's done. Wait. Oh, now it's Shubhana Mushrila. She's a printmaker. Her work concepts delve into human life, her personal existence, her accumulated stories of life, love, and living. So she's very much into her very own personal journeys relating to life, very, very intimate ones. And she wants to portray all this as if all these things kind of heals her way, her ways to this longing of life, to experience life, to rejoice life with all its sadness, joys, and all these various vicinities. And she exposed these expressions into also going back to this complex, penetrates this complex frontiers of reality and imagination. And her life, uh, very subtle aspects. She wants to create this processes and gives a certain kind of structure, form, and color to her printmakings. And her she does etching of different kind of printmaking, seriograph, drawing, painting, and so she's an expressionist, I would say, zest for symbolic abstraction. Like she also uses certain um, structures of human figure and form, which is has also a very direct, personal, realistic or personal experiences which she has gone through, physical experiences, I would say, not realistic, and those kind of fascinated her to kind of penetrate into this surface temperaments of this momentary emotions that one feels and explore those into this fusion of materials and mediums, and where her mood, her temperament is very, very important for her expression, and she does it. Okay, now this is, I think, this work is Dream Remembrance. Well, I talked about her with this work. It's actually her dream, what she was saying, that she has dreams and nightmares. Dreams are like almost like nightmares. So what where she also associates herself, like she doesn't want to portray a nightmare into a nightmare. She wants to transform that into a joyful dream where there is all these aspects, but she wants to recreate that dream. And this woodcut is almost resonance of that. where we see dream as remembrance, sharing intimacy with forms, of recalling flowery patterns. Artist initiates her renderings of thought and unique moments, creating layers of sensations. We see conversation between the artist and her dream. See, also here we see an artist having a conversation with various interactions she had in her dream. So she brings out all these things, creating and transforming. I mean, in that conversation, she has a memory of despair, her joy. So it is almost like she wants to bring all these things together to create a new kind of dream, a visual dream that she wants to have. So it's like imagination taking shape in reality to conceive and fulfill her a longing or joyfulness that she feels.
It's really a beautiful work.
Do you want me to go with this one? Love, life, and
Yeah,
other
this is the
emotions.
last one.
All right, the last one. I think I will read this a little bit. It's a nice. See, this is the organic interplay of surrounding in its core and intricate total resonances. See, here we see there is trees, there is textures, the surfaces, there is silhouettes of human forms submerged as shadows, where there's illusion of it. So it's not really something that objectively it has to be, but it is almost a union of a lot of things. So there's an aroma of touch, intimacy, and the stages of absorbing, exploring through this process of lithography prints, as this is a lithography print. The black and white print associates various temperaments in this tactile fusions, projecting um, into grounds of shapes, evoking like see the texture grounds. The tactility is almost like interrelating each other and creating separation, but at the same time there's a absolute harmony and intimacy, very inner, submerged, intangible intimacy going on. And I think this relationship with us, our daily life, the nature we live in, even a plant in our room, our atmosphere. So all these things are actually together as one in us, and we are actually not living alone. We are not fragments. We are actually living in fragments, but all together as one. So this unification is very much explored in this lithography print of life, love, and other emotions.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Beautifully.
নিহারিকা আমি একটু বলবো আমি একটু
Hmm.
বলবো
Yes,
আমি
please.
যদিও দেশের বাইরে আমি প্রোগ্রামটা অ্যাটেন্ড করতে পারিনি ঢাকাতে but the way you curated the whole thing is amazing. People call
Absolutely,
me
absolutely,
and
absolutely.
they appreciate it and they have seen something new in there. I mean, people are presenting, having many shows and everything. But the way you curated, I am saying you, I call you Bundhu. I think you have done the best and proud of
Excellent.
you.
Yes. Mm. And also the way consistently you worked with it, and you're still working on it. It's excellent, I would say. And the way you brought all the different various concepts and artists into this, it's quite a complex, integrated show. And the way you work with it, it's excellent. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Consistency, yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. So we are expecting everyone to join to bid the auction on 16th September at our Facebook auction room at 4:30 p.m. Bangladesh time.
Inshallah.
Friday, a Friday. Anis Bhai,
Yeah,
would
we
you
look
like?
forward. I already made those comments, and I must thank Javed Jalil for that excellent presentation on the art, which, as I told you earlier, seeing is believing, and don't miss this opportunity. Do bid for it. They are priced very low. Just about 4 or 5 days ago, I conducted a live auction in Dhaka of 21 pieces of 17 artists. And over there also we managed to sell about 70%, and 30% we have taken to online. And the prices were very low, very low. and that was also very well done. So we look forward to this next one coming up in just a few days' time. So please mark your calendar, mark that time, get ready with some tea and coffee, and bid for it. We'll all be there.
ইনশাআল্লাহ।
I
Inshallah. So thank you
জাভেদ ভাই,
everyone
আমি
for being with us.
একটু ইনপুট করি। আমার ছোট মেয়ে কানাডাতে, ও আপনার অনেক বড় একজন ভক্ত, মানে আপনার পেন্টিং খুব ভালোবাসে এবং আপনাকে খুব ফলো করে, এবং
Thank
আমাকে
you.
বলছে, বলে ড্যাডি একটু রিগার্ডস দিও আমার।
Oh, that's very very nice of her. Thank you. Say I said hello
Thank
to
you.
her.
Definitely I'll do that. Definitely I'll
Sure,
do
sure.
that.
Okay then.
So we can end. Yeah. Thank
And
you everyone.
let's also thank all the people who joined in. So all of you who tuned in, we
Thank
must
you.
thank
Thank you for everything, guys.
must thank you. We are very grateful for giving your time to us. All right
See
then.
you.
See you everybody. Best wishes. Have a nice